This is TeamWayfinder interviewing Lucien Dodge, the voice of Yamada Hifumi from Danganronpa, Victor from the recent game Bravely Default, and from the mega-popular series Fate Zero,
Waver Velvet.
It's an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
All right, first question. How does it feel to come from the VAA to become popular as a professional voice actor?
Well, popular is very generous. Thank you for that. You know, to make a living, which I have been fortunate enough to do at this point in my career, it takes a lot of hard work and practice. And the Voice Acting Alliance, which you're referring to specifically, I got a lot of my training and just practice, really more practice. The training came from classes and workshops, studying from professionals. I'm very fortunate to have a great mentor in the business, one Corey Burton, who has done a lot for me in really showing me the ropes and the standards which are really required to have an earnest go at this professionally. But it's all of the practice is worthwhile, is necessary, and the stuff I did there at the Voice Acting Alliance was all useful. And not just stuff there, but I did flash animations on Newgrounds, and just stuff for freebies. Stuff I wasn't getting paid to do, but it was fun. But I did it because I loved it, and it helped me grow as a performer. So it was all necessary.
What would you say is the first role that got you started heading towards professionalism?
Well, my first professional gig that I ever did, I attended this workshop, which is still going today. You can look them up. They're called the National Audio Theater Festivals. And they're an annual workshop. All these professionals in the audio industry, narrators of audiobooks, radio actors, audio engineers, directors, writers. They all come together and they teach the skills and knowledge of audio drama, which can be applied to many other aspects of the voice acting profession. And this is one of the workshops which I got some of my initial training in. And there was a gentleman there who we were big fans of, my family and I, of his audio drama works, namely the Jack Flanders series, and he also does a series called Ruby. These audio dramatizations we were very big fans of. He was a regular participant and teacher at this workshop, and I got to meet him there, and we developed a friendship. And one of the years, I think I remember I was coming back home. We were taking the bus back to the airport, and he said to me, "Hey, so I'm writing these audio skits for cell phones. They're like these short little things, mostly comedic, and would you be interested in doing some voices on them?" And again, this is an individual I admired very much, and so of course I said absolutely, that would be amazing, and followed up with me sometime after that, and actually went down to his studio and recorded some voices for his project. So that was the first gig I did. From there, I did a local commercial. But it wasn't till I think I had to make the decision to move from my hometown of Ithaca, upstate New York, to New York City. Because as the saying goes, you need to be where the work is. That's certainly true in the voice acting profession. So I moved to the city, and I was very fortunate about a month into my move to land a role on Pokemon. Which was very exciting. And from there, I got an agent. That came later, several months afterwards. But it just, again, through hard work and persistence, I picked up an agent. I auditioned for commercials. I did some commercial work and other projects in New York City. To try and make a long story shorter, eventually that has led me to come here to Los Angeles, where I've continued my pursuits and have now been in a lot more anime and games and a whole lot of other stuff. It's been pretty great.
Who's been some of your favorite characters to voice?
Well, I have to say Waver Velvet is certainly one of my favorites. It's hard to say a favorite equivocally, as it's a cliched phrase that my colleagues have, but it's kind of true that, it's kind of like choosing your favorite child. It's kind of difficult. Waver was very special, though, in that the project Fate Zero was, very meticulously recorded, and it was just a show with great production values, and all the characters are really fleshed out. And my character in particular, I really enjoyed his journey from being, again, a young boy trying to validate his existence and worth, and his relationship that he develops with his servant Ryder, and how they're kind of water and oil at first, but then they develop a respect and understanding for each other. I thought it was just a really great progression of his character through that series that I haven't gotten to do in a lot of other projects. But I would say that's one of my favorites.
Was it a lot of fun to interact with Jameson Price as writer?
It's funny. It was fun. Unfortunately, we don't get to record at the same time, naturally, because of the technical aspect of ADR. But certainly, every time I would go into the booth and I would get to hear Jameson's performance as writer and get to play off of that was always a treat. And I would get a little disappointed if perchance I went in and he hadn't recorded up to that point yet, that I was the first to record, so I wouldn't hear his performance, and I go, oh man, so it was always like a slight disappointment, because I always loved being able to hear Jameson's performance and getting to interact with that. It was great. It was great, and it was the first time I met Jameson was because of that series. I think he was just coming out and I was coming in, and the client introduced us, and just a really, really nice guy, very talented, as you know, and seen him several times since then. It's always a pleasure running into Mr. Jameson Price.
Do you have any funny stories in the booth that stand out to you?
Actually, yes. On Fate Zero, there was a scene where my character is drinking, I think, some kind of tea. And in order to get the effect, I really wanted to have it be a genuine sound. I think I grabbed a water bottle and I was trying to drink from it to simulate the sound to match the picture. But Tony Oliver, the director, was saying, well, we're getting some kind of sound from the water and the plastic, so we can't have that. Maybe you can hold it in your mouth and then swallow it. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this to get it really, it's these tiny little brushstrokes. I just like to get these genuine moments sonically. So I'm trying to make it work, and I do it, and I swallow the water down the wrong pipe. So I just start I lose it, and I'm coughing, and they're like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, no, it's fine. it's all right. It's fine. It's all for the art. It's all good. So that's one of the more memorable, the humorous stories I can recall. Another one I just came to mind is there's a part where Waver and Ryder are having kind of a personable kind of interaction, heartfelt interaction, and it's somewhat comedic. He's getting kind of teary-eyed, and he grabs Ryder's his cape or cloak, and he blows his nose into it. So it's kind of a comedic little moment, and I'm trying to again do the sounds of just the whatever the blowing his nose sounds, and we're trying it a few different ways. And it's okay, and Tony has one. He's like, yeah, I think we got one. And then I get this idea, and I go, wait, can I try one more? And he's like, yeah, sure. So they cue it up, and I go, just a big old farty honk right into it. And I think that's the one they actually kept. So I'm strangely proud of that one.
Do you have any pointers you would want to say to beginning voice actors?
Yeah, just find every possible outlet and opportunity you can to do the work, and to practice it and learn everything you can about it. Whether that, again, that doesn't mean you have to get an agent right away and start booking commercials work in anime. That start off small. Start off by reading comic books and graphic novels and your favorite novels, and play all the characters in the novel. I've done not too many, but I've done a few audiobooks in my career, and it's really quite it's very challenging but very rewarding, because again, it's just you're narrating the whole story, and you have to play all of the characters within the story. So you really have to hone in your character creating skills, and it's just great practice. So, I mean, that mimicking voices you hear on TV for commercials, for animated programs, for anime, wherever you can find these performances, these voice acting performances, and try to also mimic the best, as they say. And just work really hard. There are, again, things about the industry that you have to learn. And it's not just doing a funny voice. You have to be a true actor. So work on your acting chops, take acting classes wherever you can find them. And yeah, just really work hard at it. And it's going to take a long time for any kind of payoff to happen. But if this is something you truly love and you're willing to invest the kind of time that's necessary, which is a lot, then you're going to have a much better chance at making it than someone who doesn't. So would be just a few of my cents. 5, 6 of my cents there.
Speaking of which, when did Dust come along in your career?
Oh, I'm trying to remember now. It was, I think, a couple years ago, I think that came out. Or, let's see, my sense of time is like foobar. But it was something like that. I've been working at this for, I don't know, over like 14 or 15 years now. Like from the time that I actually had the epiphany that this industry, this craft existed, and I knew that's what I wanted to do more than anything else in my life, to where I am now. Again, it's been like 15 years. So Dust came along relatively recently in all of that. But I will say it came along because I worked hard and I did a lot of, again, work online. And the voice director and casting director, Devin Mack, had heard my work from those projects. Again, and these are nonprofit projects I'm doing, but he was familiar with my work because of those, and as a result, he thought of me when he sent out the auditions. So one thing led to another, and I ended up getting the role of Dust, which was a huge honor to play like the lead character in such a beautifully crafted game. I mean, it's gorgeous, and the hand animated style. It just looks great, and a lot of love went into it. And really, that's, again, when you were talking about favorite roles, that is also certainly one of my favorite roles to date, just because it was such a quality production.
All right, well, that will just about do it. Any final words?
Thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of it, or were at least entertained. And hope to be in more of your favorite series, games, whatever it is, in the near future. Thanks for listening.
All right, thanks for being on the show.
No problem. My pleasure.